Hey guys, this is Abhishek from gadgetsnews.com, and today we are going to do the quick unboxing and full review of the Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini. Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini is a device which is a miniature form of Canvas Turbo. Canvas Turbo was a pretty popular device which came from Micromax some months ago. This is the smaller version of that. When it comes to the hardware configuration, this device is also powered with a quad-core processor. The Canvas Turbo was powered with 1.2 GHz, not 1.5 GHz quad-core processor, whereas this one is 1.3 GHz quad-core processor. It is again the MediaTek chipset, just like the Canvas Turbo. However, on this one, the MediaTek chipset which is there is MediaTek 6582. It is not 6589, but this is 6582, which is the chipset of this device. Now, once we take a look over the box, this is how the package looks like. Again, this is the similar kind of packaging which we have seen on the Canvas Turbo as well. And we have some specifications of the device mentioned at the back side. It has got a 1.3 GHz quad-core processor. The 3G speeds which are supported is 21 Mbps, download 5.76 Mbps, upload. When it comes to the display is 4.7 inch HD display. It is not a full high definition display, but it is HD display, and it is an IPS LCD display, and the pixel density of the display is around 312 pixels per inch. Then when we talk about the internal memory, it has 4 GB of internal memory, 1 GB of RAM. The primary rear camera is autofocus camera. It can record high definition video at 720p, and it is an autofocus camera, whereas the secondary camera, the front camera, is a fixed focus camera. And then all these bands are supported when it comes to the quad band. You have Android 4.2 running on this device. You have assisted GPS as well. That means you can use this device for GPS navigation as well, and we will tell you how. You have 1800 mAh battery on this device, which is non-removable. That means the battery cannot be removed because this is a unibody device. And the model number of the device is A200, whereas the Canvas Turbo was A250. This one is A200. So this is how the package looks like. Let me just unbox the package to show you what we have inside the package. Again, not all the things of this package are actually inside. The headphones are actually out, but you get in-ear headphones within the package of this phone. So once we open the package, the first thing which we get from the package is the device itself. This is the Canvas Turbo Mini. The device looks fairly good in terms of the overall look and feel. It looks quite premium in terms of the overall look and feel, and the kind of form factor it has. It is a very premium phone. It looks like a very premium phone, at least. When it comes to the display is an IPS LCD display, has pretty good viewing angles. However, at certain angles you will see certain amount of color fading which is happening, but still this is a very good phone to hold in one hand. This is a pretty handy phone. With 4.7 inch display, you can actually reach every part of the screen without any issues. So we will take a look over the phone later on. Let's take a look what we have in the package apart from the phone. Here we have the charger, and the output current from the charger is 1 ampere, as you can see. Then we have the micro USB cable for data syncing and charging. We have some booklets, a SAR value document. The SAR values of the device are mentioned over here. That is 0.18 weight per kg head, and this is 0.23 weight per kg body. And then apart from this, there is nothing else in the package, at least in this one. We have a warranty card and a leaflet. These are the things which is there in the package. So we have already seen the package. Now there is one thing which is missing inside this package, which is the headphones. And again, the kind of headphones which you have seen on the Micromax Canvas Turbo, same kind of headphones you get with this one as well. So we will keep the package aside for a while, and let's take a look what we have as far as the device is concerned. Now here we have the Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini. Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini is a pretty decent device in terms of the overall build quality and the form factor. This is one of the slimmest devices I have seen from Micromax. The thickness of this device is around 7.9 mm, and it has curved backside, which again is going to give you a very firm grip, a very better grip when you hold this device in one hand. And again, when it comes to the material which has been used to make the back, this part is actually plastic, this part is also plastic. However, there is a little amount of difference in terms of the color over here and the color over here, because this is actually aluminum metal, whereas this part is plastic and this part is plastic. Again, if we take a look over all these things, we can easily notice that this device does not have a removable battery. That means the back cover will not come out. You have an 8 megapixel camera at the back side with dual LED flash. You have the Micromax logo in chrome finishing, looks very good. Here is the IMI sticker. They have the Micromax branding over here as well. Here we have the loudspeaker, which is also pretty loud, and I have tested it. On the top you have the 3.5mm audio jack. Here you have the micro USB port for data syncing and charging. On this side you have the power and sleep key and the volume rocker. Both of these buttons are fairly accessible when you hold this phone in one hand. And then when it comes to the bottom, you have the primary microphone over here. However, we are not able to locate a secondary microphone for this device for noise cancellation and video chat. It might not be there, but we cannot confirm the same as of now. Now if we take a look over the device, this device is fairly good to hold in one hand, pretty good to use with one hand as well, as the display is 4.7 inch, almost the same display size which we have seen on Moto G as well. Moto G is the closest competitor to this device, because this device is approximately available almost at the same price for 13 to 14,000 in the market, or even 12 to 13,000 as well. You can actually buy this one if you get a good deal. So this device is fairly easy to hold in one hand and also to use it with one hand, because every part of the screen is easily reachable on this 4.7 inch high definition display. The display is also pretty good in terms of the quality and the color, but again the fading of colors does happen when you see the display from extreme angles. Another thing which I really like about this device is the weight. This device weighs only 110 gram, which is fairly light for a phone of this type. The battery inside the device is 1800 mAh, which is non-removable, and the kind of backup you get when it comes to the overall backup from the battery, you get around 1 day or sometimes more than 1 day of battery backup from this phone, which is fairly good for a phone of this type with this kind of display. And the battery is again non-removable, that means the phone is slimmer, so it is very light and slim phone which you can use. Talking about the other ports and connectivity, at the bottom on the front we have the white bezel. On this white bezel we have the touch capacitor button for the home, back key and the properties key. On the top you have the metallic earpiece, and inside the metallic earpiece you have an LED notification light as well. You have the proximity and ambient light sensors over here. The front camera is 5 megapixel fixed focus, and again if we take a look over the back side, we have already explained these things. Now if we take a look over the software which is running on this device is again not stock Android, but it is a custom version of Android which is running, at least the UI layer which is there. It is running Android 4.2, and we will show you the exact version of Android. This is how the home screen look like. You have like 5 home screen which you cannot increase and decrease unless you install a custom launcher. Let me just show you the notification settings. So notification settings are again optimized. They are looking different. They are customized as well in terms of the overall design, I would like to say. And here we have all the toggles for the airplane, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, brightness. You do have automatic brightness also supported on this device. Let me just go into the settings. So settings UI is again optimized. It is different, and it is running Android 4.2.2 as far as the exact version of Android which is running on this device. Let's take a look over the storage scenario. So storage, it has 4 GB of internal storage, and again one thing which I really like about this device is that even with 4 GB of internal storage, it does give you the option of installing the application on the SD card. So once you insert an SD card, and we have the SIM card tray slot over here, so you can insert a SIM card over here, but I don't think this device supports an SD card. Now as far as the SIM card is concerned, the SIM card slot is over here, as you can see, and once you insert the SIM injection tool, you will have the SIM tray out, in which you can actually insert a micro SIM, not a normal size SIM card. This is for the SIM card 2, whereas the SIM card 1, because this is a dual SIM device and it does have a micro SD card slot as well, you will not notice the micro SD card slot on the edges or at the bottom or at the top, but this part over here is actually removable. So once you remove this plastic part, you will see the slot over here for the micro SD memory card. So you can insert a micro SD memory card over here, and you can insert a SIM card, the SIM card 1, which will support 3G over here. And again, once you remove the SIM card from here, the device will power off. So this is the SIM card 1 slot, SIM card 2 slot is over here, and the micro SD card for expanding the storage of the device is over here. And one thing I would like to tell you now is that as far as storage is concerned, this device has inbuilt storage of around 4 GB, and out of 4 GB, let me first of all show you how much of that is actually available. Now as you can see, under storage we have 4 GB of internal storage on this device, and again this storage is divided in 2 parts. One is 0.98 GB, where you can actually install application and store other data as well, but when it comes to user available memory, you have 1.61 GB available out of 4 GB, but you do have the option of selecting the default internal storage or the SD card, which you can insert into this device as a default write disk. That means you can actually install applications on the SD card, which is possible on this phone. Some other features I would like to tell you about is the smart gestures. Smart gestures are actually based on the basis of proximity sensor. So you have a proximity unlock in which you just need to wave your hand and the phone will get unlocked. You have upside silent, which will work in the same way. You can silent the phone. And another feature is upside speaker, that you actually flip the phone like this and the speaker will get activated on a call. The loudspeaker will get activated automatically. Upside silent is not actually this, but this is again like this. So you can silent the phone like this, and again you do have proximity answer phone, in which you need to just wave your hand over the proximity sensor, which is over here. And then you have proximity dial phone, proximity incoming call, and you can also take photos with the help of the proximity sensor. So once I enable this option, if I go into the camera and if I try to take a photo with the help of proximity sensor, I just need to take a photo like this. So I just need to cover the proximity sensor and it will take the photo. So once I cover the proximity sensor, it will automatically take the photo. This is how the smart gestures, when it comes to the proximity sensor related gestures, does actually work. So let me just tell you about some other which were left. So all these gestures are there. You can actually learn about these gestures, how to use them once you enable them, by just tapping over here, and then you will be able to see how does all these gestures actually work, in case you don't know. Now, taking a look over the location access, you do have GPS navigation supported. So GPS navigation will work perfectly fine on this device, provided that you check these options. Access to your location, Wi-Fi, mobile network location should also be checked, and GPS satellite option should also be checked, so that you can use this device for GPS navigation on the go with the help of assisted GPS. You do have support for internet tethering as well, so you can create a portable Wi-Fi hotspot with the help of 3G SIM card, which you will insert into this device. You have support for USB tethering, and Bluetooth tethering is also supported. As we take a look over other settings of the device, let me just show you the display. So under display, you can see that the brightness, you do have support for automatic brightness as well. That is because of the ambient light sensor. And when it comes to the wallpaper, you have support for live wallpapers, photo wallpapers, static wallpapers, but video wallpapers by default are not supported. You can make them supported with the help of third-party application called Video Wallpaper. That means you can actually install that. It does support wireless display as well. So in case you want to portrait the display of this device with the help of wireless Bluetooth dongle like Miracast devices, you can do that. Wireless display is supported on this device as well. Now if we take a look over the other settings of the device, as far as user profiles is concerned, you can actually create different user profiles as per the environment in which you are. These are the user profiles, and you also have the option of enhancing the overall sound for the earphone. So again, you can actually use the audio enhancer. Once you check this option, the overall quality of sound which you will get from the earphone is going to be good. As far as my experience is concerned, I have been using this phone for like more than a week now, and the kind of audio which you get from the earpiece is pretty good, if not too great, and it is kind of clear. I did not notice any problem as such, but again in low signal areas you will see you will actually hear some amount of distortion, but that is because of the low signal. Otherwise this phone works perfectly fine, perfectly fine basically, as far as the overall reception quality is concerned when it comes to audio. Taking a look over the phone dialer, this is how the phone dialer look like, and again you do have the option of making a video call directly from the phone dialer, which is again definitely good and helpful for many people out there. And when it comes to the messaging application, this is how the messaging application look like. Let me just create a new message for you to show you the messaging application in the interface. So this is how the keyboard look like. The keyboard on this device is pretty good in terms of the key size. They are kind of very close spaced to each other, but you will not face any problem while typing on this device. You can easily type. Again, with thick fingers you might face some problem. You can always type in the landscape mode in that case. And when it comes to continuous input is not supported on this device, so you can actually again install third-party keyboards in case you want to have swipe to type, but by default continuous input is not supported. Now taking a look over the camera UI, this is how the camera UI look like, and it is a different kind of interface which we have seen now, and we have seen this interface on some other phones as well. And when it comes to the options you get within the photo mode, let me just show you. So you have zero shutter delay, face detection is also there, and again the menu is transparent, so you can see the frame of the photo basically in the photo capture mode, even when you are playing with the settings. So you have self timer as well. Burst shot is supported, up to 99 shots can be taken at once. The picture size maximum is 8 megapixel, preview size is 4:3 standard, and again you can make it to full screen as well. And if we take a look over the modes which we have different kind of modes like normal mode, HDR mode, panorama mode, scene detection, and smile shot as well is supported. Let me just show you the view from the front camera. So this is how the view will look like from the front camera, and again the front camera is pretty good. It can do a good quality video chat, if not the high definition, but you can do a very decent quality of video chat from the front camera. Again, this one is fixed focus, so you do not have autofocus within the front camera. Let me just go back to the rear camera, and again in the rear camera we do have some other modes as well, like we can actually create a GIF animation of a moving object, and we can also control over the flash. When it comes to the quality of the photos, when it comes to the picture size, we have already told you. Let me just go into the video settings. So this is how the video frame will look like, and again this device can record high definition video as well. You have electronic image stabilization, microphone, audio can also be controlled, video quality set to high, which is 720p, and at fine it might be able to take 1080p videos, and we will confirm that later on. So let me just take a photo as of now of this phone, which is the Oppo N1, and let's see how does this photo actually look like. And we are again taking this photo in a room which has good amount of artificial light. You do have tap to focus, autofocus is also there. It has just focused and I have taken the photo. The camera shutter is quite fast, and this is how the overall quality looked like. The kind of details which I can see in this photo is pretty good. So camera is definitely good when it comes to low light scenario like this, in which you have sufficient amount of light falling on the object. Otherwise you will see some amount of grain. For example, if I switch off the artificial light which we have, and let me just take this photo again, and now if we take this photo and if I disable the flash, so I have disabled the flash, and if I take this photo again, we have just taken the photo, and this photo as compared to the previous one is also pretty good, I would say. So both of these photos are really good. As far as the overall reproduction of colors is concerned, it is pretty good, and the amount of details which I can see in both of these photos is good as well. So you can see good amount of details in both of these photos. However, the one which has been taken right now after the first one has less amount of light, so it is little bit grainy in terms of the overall quality, but still the overall quality looks pretty decent. Now when it comes to the browser, you have stock Android browser which comes pre-installed on this device, which is this one, and you can always use the Google Chrome browser as well, which also comes pre-installed. So browsing experience on this device is pretty good. You can open the web pages with good amount of text, with good amount of multimedia as well, and again there is no problem as far as browsing is concerned. You can also play YouTube videos within the web page. Even if you have embedded YouTube videos on a specific web page, you can actually play them using the Google Chrome browser as well as the stock Android browser as well, which is there on this device. As far as application which come pre-installed, you have calendar, calculator application, clock application. The kind of icons which I see on this device, they are also pretty good. You have Kingsoft Office as well which comes pre-installed. You have Hangout application which comes separately pre-installed. You have Opera Mini as well. So you have a large number of browser options as well. When it comes to the music player, let me just show you the music player as well. So this is how the music player look like. This is the stock Android interface when it comes to the music player. So there is nothing new or nothing customized as far as music player is concerned. You do have a file manager as well. So once you open the file manager, you will be able to browse through the contents which is there on the internal SD card, that is the phone memory. And also in case you have an SD card, you can actually go through the contents in the form of a folder directory kind of a structure. You do have FM radio, flashlight is also there. When it comes to other applications from Micromax, you have Micromax Live. You have other applications like Notes as well, with which you will be able to take notes. So in terms of the application which come installed, you have large number of useful applications which come installed. As far as widgets are concerned, there is only one widget I would like to say which is kind of custom widget. Apart from this, all other widgets are kind of. Now when it comes to multi-touch, let me just test the same. So you have 10-point multi-touch on this device, which is definitely good. Now in AnTuTu benchmark, we can see this device has scored a pretty good score of 16910, which is again a decent score for a device like this. and it comes in between Samsung Galaxy S3 and Google Nexus 4 in terms of the benchmark score. And when it comes to the kind of performance this device actually offers, it is pretty good. In day-to-day usage, you will not notice any problem. I did not notice any kind of lag while I was using this device in day-to-day usage. Whenever you are actually running some heavy games on this device and then you are doing some other tasks, then you might notice some amount of lag within the UI. But again, the game will run fine and there will be no issues as far as gaming is concerned, especially for most of the games out there. But when it comes to heavy graphic intensive games like Mortal Kombat 4, you might notice a little bit amount of graphic lag. Now when it comes to the Ninamax score, this device has scored a score of 53.4 FPS, which is a very decent score. That means you can actually play both the heavy games like Mortal Kombat 4, Frontline Commando D-Day, Nova 3 as well on this device, and casual games like Subway Surfer, Temple Run 2, Temple Run OZ, they will run perfectly fine on this device. So as far as gaming is concerned, this is a pretty decent device and it can handle most of the graphic intensive games, but not all. But when it comes to very high graphic intensive games like Blood of Glory and something like that, then in that case you might notice slight amount of graphic lag, but still you will be able to play those games provided you can actually install that game on the SD card on this device, which is supported. So now as you can see, we are playing Temple Run OZ on this device to test the graphics and the responsiveness of the touchscreen. As far as graphics is concerned, graphics are loading fine. I can see the shadow of the player as well, and graphics are loaded pretty fine, pretty smoothly on this device while we are playing this game. As far as touchscreen response is concerned, the touchscreen is quite responsive. There is no problem, there is no lag with touchscreen as well as far as the response is concerned, and the gravity sensor on the device is also working well. So this game is running quite smoothly on this device without any issues, without any graphic lag, as you can easily notice. So now we are playing this game called Frontline Commando D-Day. Again, this is a little bit heavy graphic intensive game, so we are going to test the performance of this device when it comes to playing this game and the graphics as well. So till now the graphics are kind of smooth, there is no problem as such. As far as touchscreen response is concerned, the touchscreen is quite responsive and I can easily play this game without much of an issue. So aiming while making a shot is not a problem, but it does take little bit time. But you can play this game without any issue on this device, as you can see. Taking a deeper look over the hardware configuration of this device, the model number of the device is A200 and we have ARM V7 processor clocked at 1.3 GHz quad-core MediaTek 6582 chipset. When it comes to the GPU, you have 720x1280 resolution, that is the display resolution. And when it comes to the GPU, we used to have PowerVR SGX 544MP, but this device, the 1.3 GHz MediaTek 6582 chipset, has Mali 400MP GPU, which is definitely a better GPU and it can handle the graphics much better as compared to the 1.2 GHz processor which we have seen. When it comes to the sensor, you have accelerometer sensor, proximity light, magnetic field sensor is also there, so it will help you to do precise GPS navigation on this device, and you do have an orientation sensor as well on this device. So now we are playing a high definition video on this device from our channel, and this video is getting played at high definition quality because of the high definition display. When it comes to the display viewing angles, the viewing angles of the display are pretty good. You can see this video from extreme angles as well. As far as the overall quality when it comes to the volume or the loudness of the sound which comes out from the loudspeaker, let me just increase the volume to full. So the overall sound which comes out from the loudspeaker is pretty loud, and let me just check whether whenever you are playing a video like this and if you place the device like this on a table, so even when the loudspeaker is actually at the back side, it is on the curved area, and if you place the device like this on a table while you are playing a video, the sound will not get blocked, but it will get muffled to an extent. Now as you can see, we have just connected a flash drive with the help of an OTG cable. Let's see whether this device actually detects the same or not. So as far as notification is concerned, we do not see any notification for the OTG connection. Let me just go to File Manager and check it once. So once we go under File Manager, we can see the internal SD card is already there, but flash drive is not listed. That means the OTG is not supported on the Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini. In all, I would like to say the overall battery backup on this device is also pretty okay. It will give you around 1 day of battery backup. With moderate usage. For heavy user, it will not be 1 day. Especially for heavy users, that means you watch a lot of YouTube videos, you play a lot of games. In that case, it will not give you 1 day of backup. But in case you use a lot of apps for internet, for browsing, for Facebook and Twitter kind of apps if you use, and if you use the camera as well to some extent, you record some videos as well, then in that case it will give you around 1 day of battery backup. But in case you are a heavy gamer, or in case you watch a lot of videos, then in that case it will not give you 1 day of battery backup. So in all, I would like to give a thumbs up to the Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini. It is approximately available for a price of 12,000 Indian rupees, which is quite comparable to the Moto G, which is already there in the market. However, the Moto G is a different device, but we will compare this device right now with Moto G as far as physical form factor is concerned. The detailed comparison we will do later on. So let's compare right now before giving my final verdict for this device to Moto G. Now here we have both the Moto G and the Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini side by side. If we take a look over both of these devices in terms of the size, Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini is slightly bigger in terms of the size as far as height department is concerned. When it comes to the display, if we compare the display of both of these phones together, we can easily notice there is a difference in the display size as well, because Moto G has 4.5 inch of display, whereas the Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini has 4.7 inch of display, which is slightly larger as compared to Moto G. But when it comes to the display quality is pretty good on both of these phones. However, this one is slightly brighter, whereas this one is slightly better in terms of the color production, I would like to say. So in terms of colors, the colors look much more natural and better on the Moto G as compared to the Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini. But when it comes to the overall form factor, definitely I can easily say that the Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini is actually lighter as compared to the Moto G. So Moto G is definitely heavier as compared to this one. But when it comes to other things like camera, the rear camera on the device on the Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini is 8 megapixel, whereas this one is 5 megapixel. Both of these camera support autofocus, but you do have dual LED flash. You have single LED flash on the Moto G. The loudspeaker is over here and the loudspeaker is over here, and the loudspeaker again is louder on the Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini. Taking a look over the front side, I would like to say that the kind of display both of these devices has different kind of display, and they have their good points and bad points as well. Now if we take a look over the form factor of the Moto G is slightly better, because you can easily hold this phone in one hand with matte finish or rubberized matte finish back cover, which actually gives you a nice grip, whereas on this one you have a premium feel to it. You have aluminum at the back side, plastic at the bottom and at the top. But again, this device also feels quite good to hold in one hand. It is slightly larger in terms of the display, but again it is not that large to actually make yourself uncomfortable. Both of these phones are fairly good for one-handed usage. You can easily reach every part of both of these phones as far as display is concerned with one hand. So you can use both of these phones with one hand without any issues. As far as battery backup is concerned, both of them will give you around 1 day of battery backup. Moto G actually gives you more battery backup as compared to Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini. This is something which I have experienced after using both of them. So we will do a detailed comparison of these two devices later. As of now, I would like to say both of these phones has their good and bad points. As of now, I would like to give a thumbs up to the Canvas Turbo Mini, which is a pretty decent device for the price you are paying. It comes with a pretty premium build quality, and the kind of form factor this device has, the kind of weight it has, it is much lighter than the Moto G. But again, Moto G is quite a popular device, and you have very good reasons to buy a Moto G as well in this price segment in case you want to increase the budget but this one will come for around approximately 12,000 rupees, whereas this one will start with 12,500 for the 16 GB, and this one will come for approximately 12 to 13,000. So they are fairly close in terms of the price in when you compare both of these phones. So do let us know if you have any specific question for the Micromax Canvas Turbo Mini. We would love to help you. You can like this video if this video helped you by clicking the like button below. You can subscribe to our YouTube video channel for more videos like this by clicking the subscribe button below. Thanks for watching this video. This is Abhishek signing off. Thank you.